Hi everyone, it's Michelle, and welcome to a special edition of Tea with Me. And as you can see, I have two mugs here, and there's a reason because I have a very special guest today.
Hi everybody, it's Sharon from Mad Paper Crush here, visiting Michelle from Tape and Twine up here in New Hampshire.
And let me tell you, the reason we don't have tea is because we need the coffee. We need the caffeine. We are wrecked. And there's a reason you're not seeing our faces, again, because we are wrecked. We have been on a 3-day nonstop go to flea markets, antique stores, and the Brimfield North event. And we have done all the things and seen all the paper.
Yes.
What do you think, Sharon?
It has been a wonderful 3 days, but I'm exhausted. But it's been so much fun. I can't even begin to tell you how much dirty old paper we have touched. I think I've probably taken 17 showers since I've arrived, because every time we go somewhere, we come back and we're covered with dust and old.
And she's not joking. And we've drank our share of wine. We've had our share of laughs.
Yes.
In a few minutes, Sharon's going to leave, and I am going to fill you in on all the fun that we had in this episode. Let's take you along with us on our adventures through the Brimfield Fair. We arrived just about an hour after it opened so that we could let the initial line kind of settle down before we went in. Oh, I don't see the lines.
Yes. Here we are walking into Brimfield North. Let's go get them.
While Brimfield is primarily an antique show, there are a lot of really creative vendors who take antiques and old things and make beautiful and really weird crafts, decor. I don't know what to call them. But even with all of these creative folks, we didn't see one junk journal. Something to think about in the future. There is kitschy stuff there. There is creepy stuff there. There are fun things from yesteryear that are just interesting to touch and look at and laugh about. And of course, there's just really beautiful things that we want to include in our projects. We found some beautiful tins. This one was way too expensive for us, with gorgeous lithographs. And even if things are out of your price point, it's just super fun to look at them. Like this particular book, who somebody replaced the cover on, they used the inside cover as their blotter. And I just thought, how interesting to do that. It's got such history, and I just picture the person sitting at their desk. There were so many beautiful trims and buttons and just eye candy, things we've never seen before, like Denison wrapping paper. And of course, I wanted to take this little collection of guys home with me, but really, I don't have the yard space for 20 gnomes. There was really cool projects like this particular guy who made assemblage boats out of antique pieces, and we particularly loved how the stamps were used. Sharon and I really loved looking at these little guys. And there's pieces and parts from games and everything you can think of, and everything you never would think about, like heads in a wagon, right? There's just more cool items out there than you can wrap your head around. And I always love seeing the entomology pieces, like the butterflies that are all pinned into the cases. Before we went for the day, Sharon and I made a list of the things that we were most looking to get. And at the top of Sharon's list was ledgers. I think ledgers would be on everyone's list. And I am happy to report that my friend hit it big. Like, really big. Each one of these ledgers weighed 12 pounds and might have been the dirtiest things we have ever touched in our lives. Getting them back to the car was quite a chore, but it was so worth it. And you're seeing Sharon with the cleaned up journals, but look how dirty these journals were. They were so dirty that when you dropped them on the ground, there was a cloud dust of almost, I don't know, 150, 175 years worth of dust. Wow. Beautiful, but dirty, dirty, dirty. Oh, and no ledgers were hurt in this making of this video. Well, maybe a little hurt. And then a very exciting thing happened. While we were cleaning the journals, Sharon realized that the canvas was only a cover, and underneath were these amazing covers that were really not dirty at all. And again, just look how beautiful they are. It was a huge score. After a very successful and fun day, we settled down for some snacks and a beautiful bottle of wine. I had a few to choose from since Sharon brought a beautiful selection from the winery that she works at. Yes, Mad Paper Crust, she has lots of talents. And we got settled and ready for the next day at the flea market. Here we are the next day at my local flea market, perusing and looking at beautiful items yet again. No, we didn't get this album, but we wanted to share it with you. We found this gorgeous leather wallet, and inside were lots of new friends. Did we buy it? Well, I'll let Sharon tell you about that. There were beautiful tin types and gorgeous little treasures everywhere we looked, and they were very reasonably priced at this flea market, so Sharon went home with quite a few things. And of course, there was lots of horsing around. Here I am channeling all of my Dutch friends with these shoes. I wish you could join us. And then again, after, we went to a vineyard and we went to a winery for a wine tasting. There's nothing better on a day of looking for treasures than a beautiful glass of wine and to savor all the memories you made that day. Okay, so what good thrifting weekend would be complete without a haul? And I don't usually do hauls in my tea with me, but this is really all about what we found this weekend. And I want to show you the kinds of things that we were able to find at the flea market, the antique store, and the Brimfield. And I'm also going to share with you some price points so that you can kind of see how much things cost in the wild. So let me start first by the things that I found at the Deerfield. It's not the Deerfield Fair. I keep saying that because that's the fairgrounds that the event was out, but at the Brimfield. And Brimfield, in case you don't know, is probably the biggest antique show in the world. It's in Brimfield, Massachusetts. It's like the whole town shuts down and all the fields get filled with antique dealers, and it's a whole week event. The event we went to was only a weekend, and it was like sort of a traveling road show of that. But I would definitely encourage you to go to Brimfield Live. They have online auctions year round, so you can buy some of the items that you could get like at the Brimfield fairs, except through an online auction. I definitely recommend that as a place to source vintage items that you maybe don't have near you. And I will talk more about online auctions later in the show. So there's some of the things I bought at the flea market and some of the things I bought at the show. So let me see if I can find the things that I bought at the show. I bought this at the show. I bought this from a dealer that I know, and it's really nothing that exciting, but there was something about the construction of it I find very sweet. It is a sample book of mercerized cotton. So it's like a little sample book. Just has a simple piece of paper with a grommet, and it has all the different colors. It reminded me a little bit of a needle book, but I loved how light the fabric was. And I also bought these two little pictures, and I just think they would be very sweet in this sample book. And I thought this would make a really cool little assemblage type of a journal. And I am going to work in this, and hopefully in other videos you'll see how I'm going to turn this little sample book and these two little pictures into a little treasure. I paid $3 for this little set, so it's an absolutely wonderful little jumping off point for me. Then this stack of photos I also got, and truth be told, it was double the size. It was a little baggie of these photos, and Sharon and I decided to split it. It cost $20, and then when we got home, we spread them all over the table, and we each got a pick until they were all gone. So Sharon has the same amount I have. She just has different ones. I was really intrigued by these little tiny ones that I have an idea of what I want to do in a project, and that's what drew me to this lot. I don't have a lot of little pictures, and I liked the parasol that was in so many of them. The fact that so many people had the parasol leads me to believe this was probably like at a penny arcade or some kind of an amusement thing where they could go in and get a strip of pictures done. And I got all these little tiny ones that I just absolutely adore and that I can't wait to work with. And then this format here was used in scrapbooks. A lot of vintage scrapbooks have these sort of strange shapes, and a lot of them are kind of like shapes from playing cards, which I thought was really cool. And then these little formatted cards were the same size as these. They're just on mats. And what I love about them is I love the size. They're labeled, and I can just see an eyelet in them and see them being used in a journal. I just don't have a lot of this size format pictures, and these seem ready to use. Oh, I love this little one. I love the eyes and, you know, just the little expressions. So all of these, since it was 20 and we split it, it was $10. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. $10, and I got 10 photos, and then, you know, these little ones. So definitely worth it, because we're talking about less than $1 each. So that was also from the show. I got these cute little stamps for $3 each, and I don't know that they're really in good working shape, and I don't really have that much interest in using them. I just think they'll look adorable in my type tray, and I just have a thing for circuses. Let's see what else I bought. I bought my initials for 50 cents a piece. Let's see. Is there anything else I got at the Brimfield? Oh, I got the ledgers. I will do the ledgers right now. Hold on, and I'll show you the ledgers. So here I am outside showing you the ledgers. They were just too big for my desk, and hopefully the ambient noise won't be too bad. So I have, truth be told, a pretty good inventory of ledgers. I've been very, very lucky with online sales and some local dealers. But these two ledgers, certainly not the 12-pound ledgers that Sharon purchased, were really good additions to my collection. This is from the Delaware and Lackawanna Railroad Company. It's from the 1800s, 1899, and what I really loved about it was the format. This, just the way it was written. I loved all the writing in it, and the paper, it's just beautiful. The paper is clean and crisp, and the writing is beautiful, and I just thought it was lovely. So I got this one, and what was really exciting is the covers are off, which is fine. The back cover of this ledger is so cool. It has these little notations on it, and it's hard chipboard, and I'm I might make this into something I can hang on my wall. We'll have to see. And then this one here is a, I guess it's a stock receipt book. So when they bought stocks in the Cleveland, Columbia, Cincinnati, and Indianapolis Railway Company, they had receipts, and I liked how they were red, and I love the numbers here are blue. And they, again, just something different than what I have. There's a lot that is written in, and then there's a lot of blank ones in the back. These were broken, and I got a very good deal on them. So no, I don't have to worry. They're not precious at all, and I won't feel bad cutting them apart. And it's really cool to have these pieces and parts and ledger paper to work with. Okay, I'm back. The ledgers are now done, and that's pretty much the take I had at Brimfield. Could I have gone crazy? Yes, but I'm really trying to minimize my craft supplies. I'm working really hard on actually destashing, so I didn't want to buy anything in volume or that was big. I really wanted to buy with specific projects in mind and keep what I bought small. So we also went to an antique store. The only thing I got at the antique store was this little cutie for $4. It's a little metallic manicure set. I loved the patina of this box, and inside it has little tools. I think it's missing a couple here. That doesn't really matter to me. I am taking a class with Castro, and there's a lot of assemblage pieces, especially on the cover. And so I'm trying to collect some really interesting pieces that I could use on the book covers in that class. And this is one of those pieces. Will I use it? I don't know, but I just really loved it. And for $4, I just thought it was kind of a no-brainer. And this is the only thing I got at the antique store. Now, Sharon was going to, she really wanted a ruler like this because we both like the idea of cutting them and using pieces from them. So when you're cutting them, you don't want to spend a lot for a ruler. And when we were looking at them at the antique show, they were pretty expensive. And then in the antique store, Sharon found quite a few of them, and the prices, the lowest price she found was $6 all the way up to $15. And I told her we were going to a flea market, my favorite flea market, the next day to hold off. Hopefully we would find something that was more affordable. And we did. I think I bought this one for $2, and she bought two rulers, one for $1 and one for $2. So she got them much more affordable than the antique store. So this was my antique. Oh, this is, we're talking about flea market. So these are now my flea market finds. So all of this stuff, most of the stuff I bought was from my local flea market that I go to within 15 minutes drive. I sell at it, and I try to go whenever I can. I actually have another video that I just didn't get up yet, which is a haul from that flea market that I did in May. If you see a Hollis Flea Haul, that will be more things from the same flea market, but I won't include it in this video because I don't want this video to be too long, and I want to concentrate on the things I found with Sharon. So at the Hollis Flea Market, I found this cute little tin for $3. I love the red and blue ink. I loved that it had this. I don't know if this just is falling off or whether or not this was part of it. I have no idea, but I just love the red and the black, the detailing, the print. I use tins for everything to put all my little bits and pieces in my drawers in. So I would so much rather have a vintage tin than, you know, an Altoids tin or something like that. So for $3, this was fine for me. Sharon bought a little stack of paper, and I found this one piece, so I threw it in her stack, and she was okay with that. I have this very box downstairs with these very nibs, and I thought it would be very cute to keep them together. So I got this little piece. Thank you, Sharon. I love to collect teachers' souvenirs. Those were souvenirs that the teachers had printed for their students at the end of the school year. A lot of times they will have the teacher's picture on it. I love that there's a little pin there. And I think there's a little pin there because I think pages are missing. Usually there's like a poem and it says Oliver Wendell Holmes. It probably was a poem somewhere on there. And then this looks cut. So it was probably more than this, but this is all the pupils that were in this teacher's schoolhouse. And I love looking at old names as well. So this was only $1 and I thought it was pretty sweet. Then I bought, oh, this actually was from Brimfield. I'm sorry, it's out of order. They had a big postcard and paper suitcase, and you could get 10 pieces for $5 or 50 cents each. So Sharon and I each got 10 pieces, and these are my 10 pieces. I liked this little card because when you open it, and there's this really cute little kid inside. Little May mag from KB Refs, and inside it was just a really beautiful little Victorian piece, 50 cents. I love this Greek cruise liner tag. This was for your luggage. And then these are some postcards from other countries. I think this is from France. I liked that the back was blue and the front was a cream color. I don't know if that shows up on camera so much. I'm not sure what this is also, I think, France. And somebody's written all the places they've gone. I loved the color in this postcard and these sassy ladies. The gargoyles on Notre Dame in France. I thought that was cool. And again, love the back. I love when postcards have writing on the front. This was from Paris with a blue background and a stamp. Another one from France, blue background with a stamp. I'm not sure where this is from. Italy, maybe the Amalfi. Oh, it's from the Amalfi Coast, which Sharon and I have kind of a little funny story about that happened to us. So that's kind of funny. Sharon, Amalfi, we love that for us. And another French postcard. So that was $5, 50 cents a piece. I thought that was really a nice little stack of paper, and I don't have to feel guilty about that. That's not a lot of paper right there. And then one of my favorite vendors at the Hollis Flea Market is a gentleman that sells old watch parts. And again, because I'm in Alex's class and I want to put some really cool pieces on it, on the covers, and do some assemblage, I bought all sorts of clock pieces. This one actually I'm going to use for rusting, but these are all pieces that I think would look great in the project. This is the top of a carriage clock, if you know what that is. It's a movement of a carriage clock. This is an antique watch, you know, like the bracelet part. And then I have all these little pieces that I am going to do more with. Clock faces, little tins, empty clock bezels. I have ideas of how I want to use them. And if you watch my Hollis haul coming up, you're going to see a lot more of the watch pieces that I got from him before. All of these watch pieces together cost $20. So if we look at how many I bought, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, you're talking about probably $1 to $2 each. So sometimes you can get replicas of things from Tim Holtz and stuff like that, but this is the real thing. These are antique watch pieces, and I really want to start putting black and white photos inside of these. So I really want the real thing. So that's very exciting to me. Then the last antique piece I got, again, Sharon and I went in halvesies. There was a little photo album, and it was in working condition. It did not have a back cover, but it had this front cover, which is broken. And inside it has tintypes, which I talk about vintage photography in one of my other tea with me's, which I will link below. But tintypes were a very, very early form of photography, and these are called jewel types or jewel tintypes because of the size. They were often used in jewelry, or locket tintypes. They were used in lockets or little tiny pieces of jewelry. Some people even had them in bracelets. So inside these little paper frames are little tiny tintypes, and there's 4, one on each side. I'd have to break them open if I want to use them, but again, this is craft quality stuff we're talking about, so that is the intent, is to use them. So again, this stack was double. I thought the gentleman said $20. Sharon thought the gentleman said $30. So I said, I will take that for $20. And he took the $20 and handed me the book. And then we walked away, and Sharon said, I don't believe you just got that for $20. I don't think he was selling it for $20. So he didn't question it. So I was totally fine with it. And I told Sharon if she wanted half, she could, and we would split the cost and split the book. And that's what we did. So she got the other half. And that is a great thing about going with someone else, is that, yes, you might be looking for similar items, but sometimes you don't need all of the tintypes or all of the pictures or all of the ledgers. So you can minimize your cost and minimize how much you take back with you if you're splitting items, which is really great. And if you have a good friend who is very flexible, that's always a fun thing to do. And then there's a woman that sells a lot of like newer things, overstocks from craft stores and different stores. And I bought a set of 3 of these for $1. I liked them because they were like little miniature cutters, and I thought in a little travel case they would be great. I only have 2 here because I gave one to Sharon. So that is my haul from the weekend. It all fits on my desk. It's small, and I'm really proud of myself. Oh, and this safety pin box. I think I paid $1 for this. $2 antique tin at the Hollis Flea Market. So yes, this is very doable, and I'm really trying hard to just buy things for actual projects that I'm working on so that I can reduce how much I have. So maybe some of you out there are saying, well, this is great for you, Michelle. I really like looking at what you bought, but I don't have places like this around me. I would love to go to a flea market. I would love to find cool little things like this. Well, now I think it's important we talk about how to source some of these things, because I can't speak for people in other countries, but I definitely can tell you that if you're in the United States, even if you are not somewhere that has flea markets and good antique shows and antique stores, you can get amazing ephemera and antique pieces. So I am going to share a few of my tips on the best ways to find those things online. So we all know about places like eBay and Etsy, but I want to encourage you to go on Facebook and look for the antique or ephemera auction sites. There are so many pages of places that sell tons of ephemera that you can buy online. You join these groups, just like our creative groups that we're used to, and you'll start seeing things that are called static auctions, which are people offering you items for sale that you can then purchase, and they will ship them to you. So for instance, you're seeing postcards and pictures as I'm kind of scrolling down, and you can see that this particular person is offering the postcards for $2.50 each plus shipping. So this gentleman, Keith Ballou, he is an amazing seller, and he actually runs the ephemera page we're looking at. This particular lot was for 100 Victorian pieces, including shipping, $44. And if you can see in the corner, it said 18. That means there were 18 pictures he posted about this grouping before, so that you could see what was in it. You can find pretty much anything you need for junk journals on these pages. You can find vintage stamps. You can find old books. You can find vintage magazines and linens and trims and buttons and everything, all the things that we use in all sorts of different formats of auctions. Now, sometimes they do sell very expensive things because there are collectors on this site too, but oftentimes you can buy things like cabinet cards for $1 or $2 a piece. You can individually cherry pick snapshots. There are so many things that are offered here, and it doesn't take long to figure out how each type of listing or auction works. It won't take long before you're hooked, and you'll be so excited to see the things that every one of these dealers has to offer. Keep in mind, though, anything that's listed with shipping is shipping for the United States. Another wonderful, fun thing to do is go to an online auction. Brimfield Antique Shows has a Facebook page, which I encourage you to join, but their website has an actual live auction area where they do have online auctions, and that is actually where I bought my Victorian fan that I made my very first kit from. They sell some pretty amazing pieces. So type in ephemera or ephemera groups or ephemera auctions in your Facebook bar and start looking for these groups today. One I can definitely recommend if you're looking for online auctions like live auctions is the Backers Ephemera group. Susan Backer runs it, and she has live paper auctions almost every day on that Facebook page. Susan is from Colorado, and she has these wonderful, fun auctions where you bid in the message bar and you can get some really great paper lots. I will say if you're watching auctions in America, then you need to be in America because most people won't ship internationally. But I have to believe that there are ephemera sites all over the world and that there's online auctions all over the world. You can also find online auctions on YouTube as well. So it just might mean a little bit of searching, but just knowing these exist and they're accessible, you can find one that works for you and works in your country. The dealer will mail to your country. Just check that first before you buy anything. I think many people are familiar with IG sales, Instagram sales, but in case you're not, let me bring up that there are vendors, in this case my friend Aloha, who have little shops on their Instagram pages, and from time to time they will run sales of vintage items hand-picked by other junk journalers, like Aloha makes her own junk journals, so she knows how to pick for our style, and they offer things for sale all the time. Instagram sales are a wonderful place to source items. So between Instagram and Facebook auctions, live and static, YouTube auctions, and eBay, and of course Etsy, there are so many places online for you to source items if you don't have flea markets near you. If this is something you're interested in learning more about, please put in the comments that you would like a video on how to buy online, and I will show you how to attend an online auction. I just wanted to more or less introduce you today to all the different places that you can source beautiful items online. And as always, I will have links in the show notes attached to this video that will give you more information on each. So our coffee is finished and our wonderful visit has to come to an end.
Boo-hoo.
But it only gives me more incentive to get together again.
Yes, definitely.
And I recommend everybody really reach out to people in the paper community that you connect with, because there are some wonderful friendships that reach way beyond paper.
Yep.
And I'm gonna all choked up now.
Aw.
I love that for us.
Yeah, love that for us.
There's relationships that reach way beyond paper that you can create through this community. Yes. I hope you enjoyed this episode. I absolutely adored having my lovely friend Sharon, and I will see you guys in the next video. See you later.
Bye-bye. Bye.